Ni checar de las coats. Well, I came to St. Paul when I was 5 years old, in 1935. And I came with my parents from a small town, about 40 miles from here. And then my parents decided they wanted to be closer to a community. So we came to St. Paul. There was the Cruz family that my family knew because they had also lived in that hotel in Chaska. So she was a real good leader in Spanish, and she would lead well, there was other ladies, but she was one of the ladies that we knew that would say the rosary. My first communion, and that was always a lot of the kids in the neighborhood. We all seemed to be all Catholic, and there were other kids in there that were either married to Mexicans or other nationalities, but they went to church. But it was mostly Mexicans. But we had the nuns from another parish who would come and teach us. It was a big day. I can still remember it. I can still remember who my godparents were. A lot of people kept coming back to church to Guadalupe because it was the only Spanish-speaking church. It's still getting better. We had the church on the old west side, and then in 1960 they moved to the area where they are now. And there's going to be other things happening because the community has changed through the years. Now we have a lot of people who've come from Mexico directly, and so they speak a lot of Spanish. Now our kids really need to learn Spanish so that they can continue to stay in the parish. And I think we need to make people feel good. I really do. But you should be happy with who you are. And I feel that I don't know that much about all the things that I should have. But I think that there was a lot of people from our generations or way back that made us be who we are. Hard workers. And that maybe for some people it doesn't mean that. But I think it is for us. Because it means that we try, we have strength, and we can do things. Maybe we can't be all of the doctors and lawyers, but we know how to build foundations and railroads and all those things. And that's big. That's my family, my mother and my brothers and sisters.
My name is Rebecca Ariano Montes. Jesse Alcantar Montes. We were married at Our Lady of Guadalupe Church. How did we get here? We were both born here in Minnesota. Our parents came from Mexico. Most of the first generations that were born here, their parents came when the revolution was, 1910, from Mexico. He's one of the first parishioners of Our Lady of Guadalupe in 1931. Yeah, 1931, February 1931, when the church was a mission. It wasn't like a church per se. The archdiocese called it a mission. And we've established a home here in Minnesota. We have 5 children. And we've been married 70 years. We got married September 2nd, 1950. And Our Lady of Guadalupe has always been our parish. She appeared in Mexico, so they were very fond of establishing a parish named after Our Lady. Of course, first of all, we honor our God, we love our God, but we respect the Blessed Virgin Mary. So our teaching Christianity from Our Lady of Guadalupe Parish has been wonderful. It's helped us have a good life, raise good children. They're all Catholics, so we respect her as a mother, and we ask her to help us in our everyday lives, to ask the Father to grant us a unity in our family and our parish, which our parish is our family. So that's what Our Lady of Guadalupe means to me, the parish, the family, the unity, the camaraderie. and it's taught us to volunteer. We love to volunteer. Our parents taught us that. We volunteer at the church. I know Maria knows that whenever we volunteer, they need volunteers, we try and be there for them.
The first church we built, we had to dig the basement out. And we did it. I was probably 11, 12. A bunch of my buddies. We dug that thing out with the wheelbarrows after we got done building it. Oh, I thought we were playing games. You should see my knees, all blood. Both of them. And Father Ward came, and Father Dix. Father Dix, Father Ward, Father Dix. Anyway, they kept coming, looking us over, see my pants all bloody. I wasn't crying. I didn't want them to see me crying, but I kept working. There was a bunch of us taking turns, filling it up, and it was in the cold.
I think that's why, in a way, it's such a strong attachment, because you put into it. See, when they first bought that building on Fairfield, it had no basement. And all the young boys and their fathers helped dig out the basement. So it's something that you've invested in.
It was right there in the corner. What's the streets?
Eva and Fairfield.
By it, right kitty corner was a theater. Right next door was a beer joint. They come out of the beer joint to go into church to get the ashes. Then they go back to the cantina.
Or some would come out of the cantina just to get ashes.
But
a lot of times the older women would sing loud so that they wouldn't hear the vulgar language there was in the bar. So they would sing louder to camouflage the language that was coming out of the bar. But later on, we bought the other side. So it was all one building.
Yeah, we had to knock that wall down.
Yeah. And I think total we've had about 12 priests at Our Lady, you know, beginning with Father Gilmet, then Father Dix, and then Father Ward, then Father Jerry, then Father Hugo, Father Gilmet, and Father Larry Halbert, and Father Kevin Kenny, Father Kevin Donahue. We've had quite a few priests now. So, and we've gotten to know all of them. Well, every morning we pray that we can get through this pandemic. I miss my sisters. I have 5 sisters that are very close, and I asked the mother to help us still stay together, because we don't visit each other because of the pandemic. So I asked her to take care of us. Take care of us in our belief that we will get over this with her prayers, our prayers, and the Lord will help us get through this. And that's why I think we have this attachment to the Blessed Mother, because she intercedes for us to God. Because every step I take, I'm talking to her to intercede for me, because I do need that. I have 5 children.
Yeah.
And they've all, thank God, look up to her and God very strongly. So that's what the Virgin means to me. But before the Virgin, my God, I have advised my children to keep coming to Our Lady. I don't care if they live in Canada Falls or wherever. We need to keep this church open for, not only for the Hispanic people, but the surrounding. It's located in an area where people can't walk to church. They have to drive. So I said, we have to keep it up for our children and our grandchildren. Not only in prayer to God, but tradition, to keep the Mexican tradition going. A lot of it falls by the wayside. For instance, my children understand Spanish, but they don't speak it, because they were not at that time surrounded with Spanish-speaking people. When we were children and we went to school and we were in the playgrounds, we had to speak English, otherwise we were punished. We were sent to the principal's office. And for Father Ward wanted a school, And his dream was to have a school. And they did open a school at the church in 1970, I think it was. Or maybe before that. But he was really happy that he was able to establish a school for their children so they could keep up their religion and their traditions. But then, because of financial problems, it closed. Whenever there's a threat of them closing our church, I said, that can't happen. We need that church. It's the only one in the state of Minnesota of Our Lady of Guadalupe.
I got to the church, door was open, a car pulls up, there comes 3 ladies and a boy with crutches. He's walking with crutches. And then they went in, and he started praying. When they were praying, I came out because I was still waiting for some of my buddies, maybe they'll show up. They got to the door and I waited to open the door. They were crying. All 3 ladies were crying. The boy come out carrying the crutches.
So there again, there's miracles every day. We just have to recognize them. The Mother intercedes for us all the time.